Today I'll be going to talk about how we can pass data from FlexCards to OmniScripts using custom events. So before get started, please do like, share, subscribe my YouTube channel. So I'll be clicking on new button to create a new FlexCard, and I'll be providing the FlexCard name as pass data from FlexCard to OmniScript. And let me just click on next, and I'll be using SOQL query to retrieve like custom metadata records, and then I'll pass that uh, record informations into OmniScript. And let me just provide this SOQL. So SOQL nothing but it's retrieves like, so this is a custom metadata type record, and in the last video I have talked about that custom metadata type, and we are fetching like country, tax percentage, effective dates from that record. And I'll be just click on next, and I'll be just click on fetch to retrieve those records, and we can see different countries name and their tax percentage details and their effective dates are also showing, and we can see the same informations into the JSON formatted way as well. And after seeing this, it looks good, and I'll be just click on save. So now we want to just show those information into a tabular format. That is why I'm just searching for data table component, and I'll be just drag and drop that one into this canvas. So we can see that our data is showing in a good formatted way, like in a tabular format. And we can just like we can select a different field values, we can just make them sortable, searchable, those kind of configurations we can done. And just wanted to update some of the configuration setting in the FlexCard, so that this FlexCard is this configurable with that OmniScript. That is why I'm just selecting this FlexCard for OmniScript support. So OmniScript support is nothing but whenever we just want to address this FlexCard into a custom LWC component in OmniScripts, that in that time we just need to enable these options into FlexCard. And now our main purpose is to whenever let me just make this component. So from this data table component, I'll be just go to the attributes, and I'll just make this checkbox to true, user selectable row, so that user can select rows, particular row from this data table. And so now I'll be just so whenever a user just selecting one row, that information should be available in the OmniScript. So this is how we can just make this like passing data from FlexCard to OmniScript. And now for the time being, let me just preview this one. And we can see that our list of records are showing. Now let me just uh, turn off this repeat options. Let me just turn off this one, and let me just active. So there are a lot of configurations we need to do for custom events as well. Before that, I'll be just showing how currently this will be displayed in the OmniScript, so that we can differentiate how we can just pass the data from FlexCard to OmniScript. And before while it's getting activated, let me just create a new OmniScript, and I'll be providing the OmniScript name like pass data from Flex to OS, Flex to OS data passing. And this LWC enabled OmniScript option needs to be checked, and I'll be just click on save. And our FlexCard is also activated. and we can just configure publication means target publish options. We can configure like we can just select app page, home page, record page. These are selected by default, and we can select community page, community default as well. And I'll be just click on save. And as we know, whenever we are just activating and or creating a flex card in the backend, there will be a LWC component is getting, there should be a LWC getting created so that we can refer that custom so that we can refer that flex card into this custom LWC component. So this is a custom LWC element in the OmniScript. So in here we can just search with that flex card name, and we'll be selecting this one. So this is how we can just refer that FlexCard into this OmniScript. And now to since this is a custom LWC component the FlexCard is getting treated with, we just need to activate the OmniScript in order to just preview our data. So the OmniScript got activated. Let me just click on preview. And we can see that this FlexCard data table is showing in this OmniScript. Now, if I just click on any of them, so nothing is getting triggered, right? So this is how we just want to update the FlexCard so that we can just receive the custom event listener informations. So whenever we are just selecting a particular row, this will be triggered in here, right? In the data JSON part, we can just see that after selecting any of the row, so that details will be shown here. So in that case we just want to update our flex card. Let me just deactivate this one. So our flex card got deactivated. Now from the setup we just need to select this event listener. I'll be just click on add new. So in here I will be just selecting this custom event. Our event name should be this one, select row. Select row, and in the action I'll be just selecting the action type as update OmniScript, since we are just updating the Omni JSON data. So that node we are updating, that's why we just need to select this action type as update OmniScript. And after selecting the action type, we can just select, or parent node we can just select from the fields available, or we can just put any value in this uh, parent node. For the time being I am just providing the parent node name as text rule. And let me just provide input parameters. So first input parameter should be this one, select row, and the format will be like this within second bracket, action dot result dot select row. And we just want to add few more fields like text percentage. So this field, and we just need to append this one, action dot result dot this field name. So this is the format we need to mention, like action dot result dot field name. And we just want to add our country name as well. So these should be like country, action dot result dot country, And finally we can just select like ID. So let me just select ID, action dot result dot ID. So now our custom event is set up successfully, and I can just click on save, and we can see that select row is our custom event, and I can just simply activate the FlexCard. So this is all like configurations we need to perform in the FlexCard in order to pass the data from FlexCard to OmniScript with the custom event option. There are multiple ways we can just pass the FlexCard, uh, pass the data from FlexCard to OmniScript. So this is one option. So after activating the FlexCard, we can just navigate to our OmniScript, and let me just refresh the OmniScript, and I'll be just click on preview again. And we can see that our data table is showing, and let me just select any of the row, and on selecting we can see that the details are showing in here. So earlier this was not getting triggered. Now we can see that this object, tax rule object, is getting triggered, and we can see that select row is true, tax percentage of that selected row like India is 18, country India, then ID of that ID of the record. So this is how we can just simply and then we can, from the, since this is now available in the data JSON of the OmniScript, we can just get the data directly using like using the text block or any in the next steps we can use that value that we are just getting from that FlexCard. So this is how we can just simply pass the record from from FlexCard to OmniScript. And if you like this video, please do like, share, subscribe my YouTube channel. Just display custom metadata records in FlexCards, Omnistudio FlexCards. So before get started, please do like, share, subscribe my YouTube channel. So before creating the FlexCard, I'll be just showing you the custom metadata types, and from the quick find I can just search for custom metadata types, and I have already created one custom metadata type which is tax rules, and it contains different countries tax percentages and their respective effective date. Like for India, the effective date is from 1st Jan to 2025, and the tax percentage is 18%. So this is how I just created few records for the tax rules, and there are like few custom fields that I created in this tax rule custom metadata type, and I'll be adding this that tutorial link in which I have shown like how to create this custom metadata type and how to create these records. I'll be adding that video link in this video description. And there are like these are the custom fields are there, like active is a checkbox data type field, and then country is a text, effective date is of type date, and tax percentage is of type percent. And we'll be just going to show like this information, this tabular informations I'll be show in the FlexCard. So let me just create a new FlexCard by clicking on this new button. So I'll be just click on new button, and I'll be providing the FlexCard name as display custom metadata the type records. Okay, and this is not a child card. Let me just click on next, and in the data source I'll be using like SOQL. By using this Salesforce query language, we can just fetch those custom metadata type records. So I'll be just selecting this SOQL query, and I'll be clicking on next. So in here we just need to provide the SOQL. So this is the SQL I'll be using, like select ID, country, tax percentage, effective date from tax tool MDT. So MDT stands for metadata types in Salesforce. So this uh, closer like custom objects in Salesforce, and custom objects ends with like double underscore C. But for custom metadata types, it's ends with MDT. After providing this query, I'll be just click on next, and I'll be just click on this fetch, and this is how we can see that our records are getting fetched properly from that custom metadata type. And if we want to see the JSON format as well, we can see that as well on clicking on this tab JSON. And we can provide this result JSON path as well. I'm not providing for this demo, and I'll be just click on save. So now what we need to do, we just need to select this data table component, since we want to display those records in a tabular format. So, so one another thing just to remind, like whenever we are just creating and activating a FlexCard, LWC component got created in the backend, so that we can refer this FlexCard um, in our Omnistudio, and we can use like custom LWC element in which we can refer this FlexCard. And let me, after selecting this data table component, we can just click on preview. So now we can see that our data is showing properly in a tabular format. And these are like, since the repeat options is enabled, that is why we can see the repetition of the list of records. Now I can just from the setup, I can just, from the repeat options, I can just uncheck this one, and let me just preview this one once again, and we will not see the repetition of the records after disabling this repeat records option. So let me just refresh this page in case. So still it's showing there are some cache issues, and we can just activate the flex card. So we can select like public option, publish options, in which record pages we can directly refer this flex card. Uh, for the time being, I am just this is by default selected like app page, home page, record page of Salesforce. And I'll on clicking on save, we can see that our flex card got activated successfully. And on clicking on this preview, we can see that, and we can see that the repetition of records is not showing, since I have disabled the repeat options for the flex card. And now in the next session, I will be talk about like I'll be make these uh, records in the data table as selectable. So we can just select like a one or more records, and we can just pass this record information into our OmniScript. So in that case, we just need to provide like different options we just need to enable in this FlexCard. Like in that case, on clicking on design, I can just like from the data table attributes, we can just select this like use user selectable row. So after selecting this user selectable row, we can see that this one checkbox is available for each row, and we can just select one or multiple records from this data table. And in that case, we just need to pass this record information into OmniScript. In that case, we just want to remember these options, these configurations we just need to enable, like it should be OmniScript supported. So unless this option is checked, this FlexCard will not be available into that OmniScript. So there are lots of other configurations that I'll be talking about in the next session. So this session was just to display the uh, custom metadata type records in FlexCard. So please stay tuned. If you like this video, please do like, share, subscribe my YouTube channel. Thanks for watching. Going to talk about how we can use conditional view in FlexCard, Omnistudio FlexCards. So I have already created FlexCards and OmniScripts for one of my demo tutorial, and it's just I have used in this tutorial, like I'm passing data from OmniScript to FlexCard, and we are just getting I'm using the FlexCard within a custom LWC component in OmniScript, and based on that we can just get information. We can pass the information from OmniScript step 1 to the FlexCard, and with the help of FlexCard we can just uh, display the information that is captured from the step 1 of the OmniScript with through the FlexCard. So if I just preview this one, I'll be adding that tutorial link in this video description. So the video description will be like passing the data from OmniScript to FlexCard. And if I just show you quickly, like I am providing the name and type, industry. There are different values for the industry available, and types. There are standard field values are there for the type field, and for industry I'm choosing this one. So with this value, I am just clicking on next, and this screen is from the FlexCard. So this is how we can just pass values from the OmniScript to FlexCard. And in here, I have used like configurations of the custom web component properties. Like we need to provide the property name of parent data to true, and we just need to pass records data source as the step 1. So this is how we can just pass the data from OmniScript to the FlexCard. And in this FlexCard, I have used like this custom data source type as custom, and we can just pass using a custom JSON. We can just receive the data from the OmniScript. But now for today's demo, I'll be just updating this FlexCard to show this type field, this type field conditionally. So based on a condition, like there are different types are available. Like if I just preview this one, we can see there are different types are there, like analyst, competitor, customer, integrator, etc. So I'll be adding that condition, like whenever the type is customer, then only this type field column type field will be available at the UI level. So we just need to add, since this data in the next step will be shown with the help of this FlexCard. That is why we need to update the conditional view within this FlexCard. So since we just need to first deactivate this FlexCard, I'm just deactivating this one. So this FlexCard is deactivated now. Now we can just edit this FlexCard, and on clicking on this field value within this active state, we can see these conditions. So conditions is nothing but let me just read out this text, help text, like display or hide data based on the value of a data field. For example, display an alert icon or supplemental text for an escalated case. Apply conditions to any element listed in the build panel of the FlexCard designer. So we just add as many as condition as a single or a group wise we can just add to show the field conditionally. So we can just click on this add new button, and we can see that this add condition, add groups are there. So add conditions will be like the help text is saying that add a condition that must be based on a data field values. And for add group we can create complex expression by grouping conditions. A group is similar to enclosing a series of tests in parentheses in a programming language. For example, to add a condition for high priority cases that are either escalated or have an account whose revenue is above a certain number, create two condition groups connected by an OR operator. For example, priority high and is escalated to, or priority high and annual revenue greater than this value. So this is how we can just use this add group as well. But for the time being, I'll be using this add condition. And in here we can see that this data field, we just need to choose our data field, like our data field should be type. I will be adding the condition on the type field. So whenever this type field value, there are different operators are there. If the type field value equals to, I want to just add for customer. So for this customer value, I just want to display this type field. So this is how we can just, I just click on save, and we can see that this condition is added. And in here this is, there will be an eye icon will be there that specifically displays the condition, like whenever this type equals to customer, then only this field value will be shown. So after adding the condition, we just need to deactivate this FlexCard. So after deactivating, we can just click on done, and let me just go to OmniScript, and I can just click on refresh, and let me check with the value, like I'm providing name Virat and I'm just adding the type value as customer and industry. uh, Let me choose banking. After selecting the value, I'm just clicking on next, and we can see that all the field values are showing, like type is customer since the condition was for customer only. Now if I just choose a different value rather than customer, let me check the condition is working or not. I am choosing like integrator, type as integrator and industry as biotechnology, and let me click on next, and we can see that this type field is not showing. So this is how we can just simply add conditions in FlexCard. So I'll be adding more tutorials on Salesforce and OmniStudio topics as well as data cloud topics. So please stay tuned. Please like, share. If you like this video, please like, share, subscribe my YouTube channel. Thanks for watching. Integration procedures in FlexCard as data source. So before get started, please do like, share, subscribe my YouTube channel. And before creating the FlexCard, I'll be just creating that integration procedure and DataRaptor. So I'll be using DataRaptor Extract as an action to retrieve contact records based on an account ID. So account ID will be the input, and let me just create the DataRaptor first. So DataRaptor Extract will be used to extract data from Salesforce. So let me just click on this new button to create a new DataRaptor. So the new name of the DataRaptor is DataMappers. And let me just provide the DataRaptor name like contacts retrieved, retrieved based on account ID. So this will be my DataRaptor extract name, and we just need to select this extract DataRaptor type since we just want to retrieve records from Salesforce. And these are good, like input type as JSON and output type as JSON. So I'll be just click on save. So our use case is like retrieving contact records based on account ID. So I'll be just in the add extract step, I'll be just selecting like contact object, and in the extract output path I'll be writing any labels like contacts, and I'll be filter based on the account ID. So in here, like whenever we are passing this ACC ID, so ACC ID will be the input, and based on ACC ID, the account ID, this is the standard field in the contact object. So this will be matched. Whenever this will be matched, then we'll be getting the contacts associated with this account ID, right? So in the output path, let me just add few mappings for contacts. Like in the contacts, I can just choose contacts colon account ID. Then let me just provide the output path as contacts colon. Let me just copy this since I'll be using in the next mappings as well. So let me just provide the label as account ID. We can just add the name of the contact. So contacts colon name will be the output path. Extract path, let me just add the contacts title as the output path, and we are just good to go. Let me just click on preview, and in the edit at params we can just add a key value pair. So ACC ID is our input ID, so ACC ID needs to be passed as an input parameter, so I am mentioning this ACC ID as the key. And in the value, let me just provide an account ID. So this account ID I'll be using. So let me just click on execute, and we can see that based on this account ID, we are getting these contact records, which contains like contacts title, name, and the account respective account ID. So our data mapper extract setup configurations is done. So now I'll be just creating the integration procedure, and I'll be using that integration procedure as a data source in the FlexCard. So let me just create a new integration procedure by clicking on this new button, and let me just provide the integration procedure name as retrieve contacts based on ACC ID IP con retrieve subtype count ID. And let me just, so type and subtype are necessary for creating the integration procedure, and let me just click on save. And if I just tell about high level, I have already created several tutorials on how we can work with this integration procedure. So integration procedure basically like a declarative, a server-side process, a tool that can execute like multiple actions in a single server call, rather than embedding like multiple data mapper extract into a OmniScript directly. So in using this integration procedure, we can achieve more performance, and like this will be under a single server call. So we can see definitely a performance improvements in our processes. So it's always better to use an integration procedure. And let me just invoke that in DataMapper extract. So I'll be just adding this action, DataRaptor extract action, and I'll be just providing the DataRaptor extract name as contacts retrieve based on account ID. So this is our integration. This is our DataMapper extract name. And in the input params, we can see that we have configured based on this ACC ID needs to be there. So in the input parameters, so I'll be just click on this add input parameters, and in the filter value, we definitely need to add this ACC ID. And this ACC ID needs to be passed in that data raptor. And in here, I can just specify any variable name like account ID I'm specifying. So this account ID again needs to be passed from the FlexCard. So now we have configured as the input parameter as account ID in the integration procedure, but in data mapper extract it is still same as like ACC ID. So that is why we are just passing the ACC ID as the filter value so that the data raptor execute properly. And let me just add the response section so that we can just see the response from the DataMapper extract. And let me just copy this element name, and let me provide the element name of the DataMapper extract action in the send JSON path. So now I'll be just click on preview, and let me just add account ID as the key, and value, let me just add the account ID as this one, and let me just click on execute. And we can see that these contacts records we are just getting properly in the integration procedure. So right, so now we can just activate this integration procedure. So there are no activation needed for DataMapper extract or DataMapper components, but yes, we just need to activate integration procedure in order to use integration procedure in other OmniStudio components. So on clicking on activation, we can just access these integration procedures in like OmniScript actions in FlexCard. So now I'll be just creating that FlexCard. So on the FlexCard, I'll be just click on this new button, and I'll be just providing the FlexCard name as FlexCard data source IP. So this is my FlexCard name, and I'll be just click on new, and let me just search for integration procedure. So in the data source, I'll be just selecting this integration procedure, and let me just search for our integration procedure name. So we just need to search with this kind of syntax like type underscore subtype. So this type and then underscore subtype account ID. So this is how, like, this is currently due to some cache issue is not displaying now. So in order that I can just click on back, and for the time being I can just select this none source type, and I'll be selecting the data source after the FlexCard got created. And I can just, we can see that this FlexCard got created now. And in the setup again, I'll be just go to the data source, and in the data source I'll be just search for this integration procedures, and in here I'll be just searching with that type underscore subtype syntax, and we can see that this is con retrieve. So this is our type name and subtype is account ID. So this is how type underscore subtype format we can just find our integration procedure. And we want to just synchronously execute this integration procedure rather than asynchronous. And in the input map, we just need to pass our respective parameters. So in our case, the parameter is like account ID. So this account ID needs to be passed for the integration procedure. So I'll be just click on this add new, and in the key I'll be mentioning this account ID, and in the value I'll be just providing the account ID value. And in the options map, we can just pass like additional key value pairs in the input map. So for the time being, I am not adding any options map since we don't require any options map for our configurations. So now I'll be just click on save and fetch, and in the JSON, we can see that our data is coming properly. But in the table format, the data cannot be displayed in a table since it's under the context array, right? So, but our data is coming from the integration procedure. So in order to display the data in the table format, we just need to provide some, we just need to enhance our configurations like in the result JSON path. And now we can see that in the JSON it's under the context array. So now we can just drill down or trim down the array, so the JSON. So in the result JSON path, we can just what to do, we do with the result JSON path, we can just drill down to a specific data set, enter a JSON path such as cases. In my case, this is context, so I'll be just mentioning this context. And now on clicking on save and fetch, we can see that in the table we are getting the results records properly, and in the JSON we can't see the context since it's got trimmed out. So this is how we can just, like, we can use a integration procedure, and we can pass parameters using this input map, and we can use this result JSON path in order to fetch the proper nodes in the JSON. So this is how we can just configure integration procedure for a FlexCard, and we can just after activating the FlexCard, we can just use this FlexCard in OmniScripts, in our consoles, in our experience sites as well. So hello friends, welcome back to my YouTube channel Salesforce AI Champions. Today I'll be going to talk about how we can use DataRaptor as a data source for FlexCard. So before get started, please do like, share, subscribe my YouTube channel. So I'll be just creating a new FlexCard in which I'll be adding DataMapper extract as a data source. So I'll just go and work with you with the DataRaptor configuration that I have already created, and I'll be using this DataRaptor as a data source for that FlexCard. So this is a extract FlexCard extract DataRaptor, and I am just getting retrieving contact records based on the ACC ID. So this is the account ID uh, that will be inserted, that will be provided as an input, and based on that account ID from the contact records we will be just matching with the standard account ID field of the contact record, and based on that we can just retrieve the contact records which is associated with an account ID. And I have just added few mappings for the contact records that we want to fetch, like the contacts account ID, then contacts full name, then contacts title, and in the preview based on this key. So in the input parameters we just need to configure key as the input variable and the account ID value, and based on the execution we will find this like for this account ID there are like three contact records are there, and we are just seeing the contact details such as title, name, and account ID. So now I'll be just using this DataRaptor as a data source for the FlexCard, and I'll be just creating a new FlexCard by clicking on this new button, and I'll be just providing the FlexCard name like FlexDear. Okay, FlexDear new, and let me just click on next, and I'll be choosing like this from the data source. We just need to select this DataRaptor as the data source, and on clicking on this DataRaptor I can just click on this new, and we just need to search for that DataRaptor like contacts retrieve based on account ID. So this is my DataRaptor, so I have selected this one, and in the input is nothing but the input parameters that we just want to pass to the DataRaptor in order to fetch those records in the. And I have already shown you like in the extract path we have added this ACC ID as the input parameter. That is why in the key we just need to provide this ACC ID as key, and in the value we can provide the account ID. And so on clicking on next and on clicking on this fetch we can see our details that is coming up like in a tabular format, and we can see in the JSON as well. So our selection of the data source is done, and input configurations are also done. So I'll be just click on save, and we can see that our FlexCard got created successfully. And in order to change anything regarding the data source we can do that in from the setup, and we can just update our data source type as well. From here we can update DataRaptor name as well, interface name as well. We can just update our key value pairs. Like in my case I just want to provide the account ID as dynamically by using the test parameters as well. In order to do that I can just in the input map we can just provide in the curly braces account ID. So after adding the variable within the curly braces and on clicking on this add new, we can find this account ID got automatically added, and I'll be just adding the account ID as the value. So now I'll be just click on save and fetch, and we can see that our data is coming as per our expectations. and I'll be just click on OK. And from the build I can just search for data table, and from the display components I can just drag and drop this data table component, and we can see that all our information from the data raptor is showing properly. So this is how we can just use DataRaptor or DataMapper as a data source in FlexCard. Hello friends, welcome back to my YouTube channel Salesforce AI Champions. Today I'll be going to talk about how we can use block element in FlexCard. So before get started, please do like, share, subscribe my YouTube channel. So for the FlexCard, I'll be using DataRaptor Extract as a data source. So before creating the FlexCard, I'll be just creating a simple data mapper or DataRaptor Extract that will fetch like product records. So I have several product records in my org, like regarding these data plans of mobile. So I'll be just retrieving those few product records in the data mapper extract, and I'll be using the product object in that case. So I'll be just click on new to create a new data mapper extract, and I'll be providing the name like get product records. And this is a extract data type, since interface type, since I'll be just retrieving record details from Salesforce. So uh, then input type as JSON, output type as JSON. Then I'll be just click on save. And there are like key different important fields are there, like product name, product code, then specification type, and specification type. So these three fields I'll be mapping in order to for the data mapper mappings. And in here so I am in this Omnistudio data mapper builder, so I'll be just click on this add extract step, and in here I'll be just searching for our respective object, that is product 2. So product is the label, and if we see from here, this is the name product 2 and the label is product. So API name of the product object is product 2. So after selecting this product, we just need to mention any label for the extract output path like products. And in the filter, I can just simply mention like name like data plan. So I'll be retrieving those products whose name containing these data plan keywords, right? So in order that I'll be just retrieving those all those product records having this data plan words in their name. And after just mentioning this SOQL, and like I can just map few fields. So I can, from the extract JSON path, I can just search for the product name, and in the output JSON path I can just simply mention the name or product name. Then we can just add product code. In the extract JSON path I'll be just search for product code. Output JSON path I'll be providing the label as product code. And finally we can just add the specification type, so this one, and spec type, this could be our label. And on clicking on preview, I can just click on this edit add params, and in here I can just add this key value pair, and in the key we just need to pass like this name. Actually we are not, we just need to update here like product name. So this needs to be passed, right? In the preview I can just mention this product name key, and in the value I can just pass the data plan. Since we want to fetch those product informations dynamically, if I just mention the product name in here, so that will be like static. So that could work only for the that product name that I am mentioning in here. So this would be dynamic. So product name we would be pass. So so this is how we can just simply construct this data mapper extract, and I'll be using this data mapper extract as the data source for the FlexCard, and in which the FlexCard I'll be showing how we can simply use the block element to display all those product records. So these are the product records currently showing. So let me just create a new FlexCard. So I am in OmniStudio FlexCard, and I'll be just click on new, and I'll be providing the name like flex block element, and on clicking on next I'll be just search for the DataRaptor, and I'll be just click on next, and in here I need to just search for the DataMapper extract. So now it's not showing, but as for the time being I can just select the none due to some cache issues that DataMapper extract is not showing. So anyhow, we can just update from the setup, like from the setup of the FlexCard, we can just search for the source. Like in here, I'll be selecting the DataRaptor, and in here I can just again search for the DataMapper get product records, right? So this is how we can just simply configure this data source for the FlexCard as DataRaptor, and in the input map is the nothing but the parameter we just need to provide, and in here only one parameter is required, like the product name. So I'll be in the key, I'll be just provide the product name, and in the braces I can just simply type any value like prod name, and in the test parameters we can see that this prod name automatically added, and in the value I can just pass like data plan. So data plan is our product, whichever the product containing the name keywords like data plan, those product records will be retrieved. So I'll be just click on save and fetch, and we can see this in the table format. We can see all the product records having the data plan keywords, and in the JSON we can also find our product details as well in the JSON format. So now the main part in the build, I can just search for the block. So in the display components, we can see a data table and block. So if I just drag and drop this data table, it will show in the tabular format. And I have already created several tutorials on this, how we can just configure data table in the FlexCard. And I'll be adding those tutorial link in this video description. So so now I'll be just showing this block element. If I just drag and drop this block element, so we can find block properties here. We can make the block collapsible. So in here we can just provide the block label as like products, and in here we can just make it collapsible, or we can make collapsible by default as well. In here we can just add different actions, but for today's demo I'll be not showing that one. I'll be just simply showing how we can just display uh, field values in the block element. So now let me just drag and drop those fields of the products. So we can in the field section, we can find this product code, product name, and spec type that are returning from this data mapper extract. These are the fields. Like these are not the standard Salesforce or Salesforce custom fields. These are the fields that are getting returned from the data mapper extract, the data source. We can just drag and drop these fields in the block element like this is how we can just simply drag and drop. We can make within the block, and if I just collapse, we can make it collapsible as well. And let me just put other fields as well. We can make this uh, with adjustment accordingly, and spec type finally. So now our block component is configured, and if I just preview, let me just check. And we can see that in each all the product items are showing, like these are the data plan PS 5G data plan. These are the respective product code and spec types, specification types, all are showing, right? And these are like collapsible, and we can just make the collapsible by default from the um, by clicking on this checkbox like collapsed by default. So this is how we can just simply configure the block element in FlexCard. So in the next session, I'll be talk about like how we can add actions, different kind of actions in the block element. So we can achieve more functionalities, like we can just navigate to a particular record. Those kind of actions we can just perform, or we can just like from this on clicking on a particular row in the block, we can just navigate to that respective product records. So those kind of enhancement I'll do in the next session for the block element tutorials in the FlexCard. So please stay tuned, and if you like this video, please do like, share, subscribe my YouTube channel. Thanks for watching. I'll be going to talk about how we can add block actions in FlexCard in OmniStudio. So before get started, please do like, share, subscribe my YouTube channel. So in the last session, I have talked about like how we can use like block element in Salesforce, this OmniStudio FlexCard, and and I have created like one FlexCard that uses integration procedure as a data source, and it retrieves like this data, like this account informations, like some contact information based on an account ID. So if I just show you quickly, these are the key input params we just need to pass, like this account ID. So based on this account ID, it retrieves few contact records that are associated with those account IDs, and it will be displayed. And so this FlexCard is a child FlexCard. Right, so in that case, this child FlexCard, I'll be using this child FlexCard as an action in the block element in the FlexCard. So I'll be just creating a new FlexCard. I'll be adding a block element. In that block element, I'll be just write some simple text, and I'll be just updating the block action so that we can just use this child FlexCard as a flyout in that block element. So let me just create a new FlexCard. On clicking on this new button, I'll be just providing the FlexCard name as block action element flyout, and let me just click on next, and let me just click on save. So our FlexCard got created successfully, and in this active state, I'll be just add the block element. And if I just so block element is nothing but that kind of this combined logical groups of elements inside a collapsible container within a block element on a FlexCard. So I have shown like how we can uh, properly use this block element in a FlexCard in the last session, and I'll be adding that tutorial link in this video description. So in the block element, I'll be just add a simple text. I'll be just search for text, and let me just so rich text field. So in the display sections, we can find this rich text field. I'll be just drag and drop this rich text, and in here I'll be just provide some random text like flyout demo, and we can just configure the font styles and all. Like let me just make it more uh, big in size, and let me just make it color success, or we can just make the color, or is it good? Okay, and let me just add another icon element. Let me just search for icons, and we can find under this display section again, we can just find this icon field. I'll be just drag and drop this one, and we just want this icon just uh, right of this, just left of this text, and let me just drag it properly so that we can, and we can just make the type and size, configure the size of the icon and type of the icon as well. Like there are two types of this icon, like custom, we can just use custom, and for the timing I'll be using this Salesforce SVG. And the icon, let me just use this by default, like this utility add icon. I can just use this, should be shown as plus, and let me just reduce this size little bit, like plus, and now we are good. And in the block element, so this is within the block element, we have added like this icon element and this text element. And if I just click on this outer block, this in the block properties, we can just make it collapsible as well, like make it collapsible, or the collapsible by default options we also can choose. Those kind of just configuration we can do. And in the action, so this today's demo is regarding the how we can just add an action to this block element. So I'll be just click on this action button, and let me just show you what are the different kind of actions we can just add. Like I'll be just providing the action label as flyout, and there are different action types like card, data, event, flyout, navigate. We can navigate to a particular record. OmniScript, we can just launch a OmniScript, update OmniScript, velocity actions. So these are the different types, action types are available. So for the timing for today's demo, I'll be just using this flyout. And on the flyout, so flyout will be like that. In the flyout type, I'll be using this child flex card as a flyout type, right? So let me just add the flyout. In the flyout type, we can just select this child card, and in the flyout, I can just search for that flex card, child flex card that I have shown in the earlier of this video. And I let me just choose this flex card, and we can just pass the data. Since for that I am not passing any data, I'll be just showing as it's as straightforward. There will be no data passing as of now for showing this flyout. I'll be not passing any data, but we can just pass any context ID, different kind of parameters we can pass to the flex card, to the child flex card, right? And there are there are like open flyout. So this is the like model type. The flyout will be open, and the channel name close model. So channel name is for the pub sub event, and we can just add different conditions as well. Let me, for the timing, let me just save this one. So the we are good to go. So like let me just preview this one. So flyout is will be like basically displaying some sort of extra information, additional details we want to embed within the flex card. Means if the flex card contain a lot of information, if there are no places to show all the details within, we can just add the flyout, any flyout in that flex card, so that it could be like additional details should be shown in a model kind of pop-up. And on clicking on this flex card, if I just click on it, we can just see uh, this is showing as a flyout, right? So this is the child flex card, and it shows some few contacts associated for an account. And on clicking on this block element, since I have added the action within the block element, so on clicking on this block element, we can launch this flyout. So that's all for today's demo. I'll be adding more tutorials on Salesforce, OmniStudio, and data cloud topics. And I'll be adding different kind of scenarios for block element and this flyout as well. Like we can just use different action type as well, like navigating to a record, launching an OmniScript, updating an OmniScript. Like event, we can just fire pub sub event. Those kind of scenarios I'll be covered in the later sessions. So please stay tuned, and if you like this video, please do like, share, subscribe my YouTube channel. Thanks for watching. Hello friends, welcome back to my YouTube channel Salesforce AI Champions. Today I'll be going to talk about like how to create a child flex card in OmniStudio, and for that flex card I'll be using SOSL as a data source for that flex card. So SOSL is the Salesforce object search language, and it's specific to query language for performing text-based searches across multiple standard and custom objects. So we'll be discussing about SOSL in more detail. So before that, let me just click on this new button to create a new flex card, and I'll be just providing the name of the flex card as SOSL flex and is child card. So this is a toggle. We just toggle on this one. To make a child flex card, this is very easy to make the toggle on for this is child card. And whenever we are just making a flex card as a child flex card, we can just embed this child card into a parent card. So that will be used in that case. So this is how we can make a flex card as a child card. And on clicking on next, we can just select our data sources. So there are like several data sources are available. I have talked about many how to use these different sources like Apex, REST, DataRaptor integration procedure, REST as a data source in other sessions. So please stay tuned with those sessions as well. Please check those out. For the time being, I'll be using this SOSL search for the for this FlexCard data source. And on clicking on next, we can see that so SOSL basically, as I mentioned, that is a text-based search. So in the search for box, we just need to enter what is the keyword we are looking for. So let me just show you few product records. So this is my different product record is available in my org. Like like for this is like for data plans, then broadband services. So let me just let me just take the keyword service. Okay, so I'll be searching for the word service, and in the name fields or all the fields I can just choose. For the time being, I am just choosing all the fields, and in here we just need to mention all of the objects we just want to search for this keyword, for this service keyword. So I am selecting this product object, and I am just choosing the name, since this is a name, product name field value from which the service keyword is there. So I'm just selecting the uh, field name, and on clicking on this plus button, we can add multiple objects, like we can just add account, contact, or any custom objects as well. And uh, on and limit to, we can just limit the number of records are getting returned. For the time being, I'm just selecting this 10. So main difference between the SOSL and SOQL is like, so unlike SOQL, which queries a single object. So using that SOQL that I discussed in a couple of sessions back, how we can just use the SOQL as a data source for the flex card. In those SOQL, we can just query a single object, right? But in SOSL, we can just search these keywords. So these keywords, this service keyword, we can search in multiple objects. So in here, I just added a product object. Let me just add the account object as well. This account object, and I am just mentioning the field like name as well. So we can just add multiple objects to search, to continue our search, right? Unlike the SOQL, for SOQL we can just search for records for a specific object. So in SOSL, that is the main difference. We can search across the multiple objects in a single query. So that's the difference, that's the main difference between that SOQL and SOSL. and let me just click on next, and let me just click on this fetch to retrieve the records, and I'll be just click on this JSON, and we can see that these are the product records are getting returned, like this product DSL service PS. So this product name content service, that is why this product is getting returned. So like that. So this is how we can just use this simple SOSL as a data source in FlexCard. And on clicking on save, I'll be just creating the FlexCard. And in the setup, we can just reconfigure our search as well. Like we can just change their data source type as well. We can add another object as well. For the timing, I have just added this product and account object. And if I just click on this save and fetch, and we can see that this data cannot be displayed in a table since it's within the product array. That's why we just need to mention this result JSON path. We can just mention this product, and on clicking on save and fetch, we can just retrieve this one. And in that case, we should see these records in a table format, right? So, and to view the records, we can just add a data table. So let me just drag and drop this data table. Sometimes these records does not show in the design box, but if I just click on preview, in that case we can just see the returned records from the SOSL that we have written. And we can see that our all the respective records are getting returned with the service keywords, right? So this is how we can just simple and to repeating, to off the repeating, we can just from the setup we can just turn off this repeat option by unchecking these repeat records. So this is how we can just off the these repeat records. So, and this is how we can just set up our SOSL as a data source in a FlexCard. And also we can just make the FlexCard is child card. So whenever we are just toggling on this one, we can make a FlexCard as a child FlexCard. So now this, after activating this child FlexCard, we can just embed this child FlexCard into another FlexCard. So that's kind of scenario I'll be talked about in the later sessions. And if you like this video, please stay tuned. If you like this video, please do like, share, subscribe my YouTube channel, and I'll be uploading more tutorials on Salesforce, Data Cloud, and OmniStudio topics. So, thanks for watching. Hello friends, welcome back to my YouTube channel Salesforce AI Champions. Today I'll be going to talk about and demonstrate like how to pass data from parent FlexCard to child FlexCard, and I will be invoking that child FlexCard using the flyout feature in the parent FlexCard. And let me just show you how it will be looks like. And let me just preview this one. And in here, so this data like this subject case subject is showing from the parent FlexCard, but this more details is using a flyout feature of the FlexCard using the action. And I am just invoking a child FlexCard, and it will be showing like in a model pop-up, in which in the pop-up we will be getting more case details. And I'll be using a custom JSON for this data source for the FlexCard. And I'll be building the whole scenario and this feature from scratch. So I have already built, but I'll be for this tutorial demo, I'll be building this same feature from the scratch. So let me just from the OmniStudio FlexCard, I'll be just creating two FlexCard. We just need to create like one of these parent FlexCard, and another one is the child FlexCard. From the child FlexCard will be used as an action in the flyout of the parent FlexCard. So let me just create the parent FlexCard. Okay, so I'll be just providing the name like parent FlexCard, data passing, and so let me just click on next. And in the I'll be in the data source, I'll be just selecting the custom, in which we can just provide our custom JSON. So let me just provide this custom JSON. So this JSON contains three case records, and it's having the different fields, different key field values are available for the case, like subject, descriptions, priority, origin. So the same for the other two as well. We can just see different subject line for the case, like login issues, billing discrepancies, feature request, and we'll just get description, priority, login, origins as well. So after providing this customization, we can just click on next, and we can just see our JSON structure here as well. And from the uh, tabular screen we can also see. And I'll be just click on this save, and our parent FlexCard got created. And so if we just want to update our data source, we can do that from the setup data source, and we can just update our data source as well. So let me just provide a text field, a simple text field here, and I'll be just providing the case subject here. So we can see that in our JSON node, it's having like these keynotes needs to be provided, like this subject needs to be the same as the element name of uh, the smart syntax. So we, after providing this subject, we can see the preview of this value we can see. And now we can just provide an action element in from here. So this is the action element, can be found in the display components, and I'll be just drag and drop this one. I'll just update the label to more case details, and I'll be just checking the checkbox for hide icon. This will just hide the icon for this action button. And now I'll just make sure that this action button should display like a button. So I'll be just checking true as a display button, and I am providing like this brand style, button style as a brand. And let me just, and now in here in the action section, we can see we can just add a new action here. Before adding the action, we just need to select this flyout, and in the flyout type we should select this child card, since we are just invoking, and we'll be invoking a child flex card here, from which we can just show additional information from the case through the child flex card, and in which we just need to select the child flex card. So before that, let me just create the child flex card as well. So I'll be just go to the Omnistudio flex card screen, from which I can just create a new child flex card. And let me just copy this name, and I'll be just click on new, and let me just provide the child flex card name as child flex card data passing. And this is the main toggle that we just need to turn on in order to make a flex card as a child flex card. So this needs to be remembered at first only. So after creating the flex card, we can't make the flex card as a child. Like for this flex card that already I created, we can't make this flex card as a child. In order to do that, we have to delete the flex card. So we have to keep in mind while making a child flex card at the very beginning. We can't this update this changes to make a card as a flex card as a child flex card can't be possible. So we just need to update at this very beginning. So in the child flex card, we don't need to select a data source, since we will be getting the data from the parent. We will be passing the data from parent. So without selecting the data source, I'll be just click on save, and I'll be just drag and drop this text, rich text field here, and I'll be just providing the label as case details, and let me just add fields here like subject, then description. So this needs to be matched with the JSON nodes element names. So origin, and final one is priority. So our child FlexCard configurations are done. We can just simply activate this FlexCard. So after activating the child FlexCard, we just need to configure the action in the parent FlexCard. So let me just copy this child FlexCard name, and let me just refresh this page once. And in the parent FlexCard, we just need to configure the action. So I'll just navigate to the action, and after selecting the action type as flyout type as child card, we can just search for flyout. And in here, we just need to select our child FlexCard, and in the data node we'll just need to pass this record. So this record means the current record. So I'll be just discuss after some time so how this data node works. So before that, let me just configure this open flyout model as model, and we are good to go. So let me just preview this one. And we can see that our three case records are showing. And if I just click on this any of the uh, actions, we can see all the extra case details are showing, like the subject line, then descriptions, then the case origin and the case priority. And if I just click on any other case, we can see the different details are showing as per the selected case record and based on the selected node. So now the part that I skipped, like configuring this data node. So data node, let me just open so this is how data nodes work. Like if we in our my use case, I have chosen this one, like this record. So record is all about, like if we want to send the current record to child FlexCard, in that time we just need to select this record. Unless if we want to send all the records, all the data, in that case we just need to select these records instead of record. And if we just want to send specific record, like pass the data of a specified record, like for example records 0 is the first record, records 1 is the second record, and so on. And finally, records fields like record.field name. So pass a record object, for example, record.product for an object or an array with additional data. So this is how we can just configure our data node as per our requirements. So in here we can see that these are all by default it's showing like records 0. This is the means first element, so and so on. So in my case, I have just used this record, and this is how we can just simply like pass data from parent FlexCard to child FlexCard. That's all for today's demo, and I'll be just adding more tutorials on Omnistudio, Salesforce, and data cloud topics. And if you like this video, please do like, share, subscribe my YouTube channel, and thanks for watching. Hello friends, welcome back to my YouTube channel Salesforce AI Champions. Today I'll be going to talk about and I'll be demonstrate like how we can use block actions and how we can just pass data from the parent to child FlexCard using the block actions. And I'll be using the flyout feature in the block actions, and I'll be using that action type as flyout so that we can just display data from the uh, parent FlexCard to the child FlexCard, and the data source of the FlexCard is like DataRaptor. And let me just show you the use case and how it will be look like after implementing. So in here we can see that we can see the list of contract records that we are just getting from the DataRaptor extract, and if I just click on any of the contact, it will show the contact details in a like model pop-up. And so this data we are showing in the child FlexCard. So, and it is getting used by the action type of flyout. So this whole feature I'll be just implementing by from the scratch. So so before get started, please do like, share, subscribe my YouTube channel. So I'll be just creating the FlexCard and the DataRaptor from all the things from the scratch. So please stay tuned and please watch till the end. So I'll be just go to the Omnistudio FlexCard, and I'll be just click on new, and I'll be just providing the FlexCard name as block action flex flyout new. So let me just so I am just building this one like parent FlexCard. So let me just define that as well, like parent. So let me just click on next, and since I have not yet created that data raptor, let me just choose as none as a data source. So I'll be updating the data source after some time. So now we can see that our flex card got created, and in the setup we can just update our data source like to a data raptor. So before that, let me just create the data mapper or data raptor extract so that we can just get those contact details. So I'll be just click on new. It's taking some time while creating that data raptor extract. And we like there are like four interface type are like there for data raptor, like extract, turbo extract, load, transform. I'll be using that extract to get the retrieve the data from Salesforce, and I'll be just providing the interface name as get contact con details uh, based on account ID. And in the input type, I'll be providing the JSON, and output type is JSON. That is good. And I'll be just click on save. And I can just click on the add extract step to choose a object. I'll be just choosing the contact object, and in the extract output path I can just provide any labels like contacts, and the filter condition will be like based on the contacts account ID. I'll be getting matched with that account ID that I'll be passing from the FlexCard. So providing this account ID here, and let me just on the output tab, let me just add few mappings. So I'll be just want to fetch a contacts account ID, then contact name, then contact title. We'll be good to go with these few mappings, and I'll be just click on preview, and on clicking on edit params we can just add this key value pair, and in the key I'll be just adding the account ID, and I'll be just providing a value to the account ID. So let me just take this account ID from my earlier FlexCard. So let me just provide the account ID. On clicking on execute, we can see that these are the contact details are there in the associated with the respect to this account ID, and we'll be just try to show these details in using that block actions in the child FlexCard. So now I'll be just copy this OmniStudio DataRaptor name, and I'll be just go to the FlexCard, and I'll be just refresh the page. Now from the setup of the FlexCard, I can just choose the data source as DataRaptor, and I can provide the interface name as this one, get cons based on the account ID, and in the input map, since the account ID is the only input parameter we have, let me just provide the key as account ID, and let me just add it dynamically so we can just test using the test parameters. So this should be in the braces, or we can just hard coded any value in the account ID, but we want this into like dynamic feature, so I am doing that within the braces. And on clicking on this add new, we can see that this account ID got added automatically, and we can just provide the account ID value here. After providing the value, we can just click on save and fetch, and we can see that we are getting the data in the FlexCard uh, from the DataRaptor, and we can see the JSON of the JSON as well. And I'll just click on OK, and from the build I can just want to, since we just want to utilize the block actions, right? So I'll be just drag and drop this block element. So block element is nothing but a container that contains a lot of other elements, so we can just configure the block element as collapsible and all. So I have created already different tutorials on uh, regarding the FlexCard and on block as well, so please check them out in my Omnistudio playlist. And so now I'll be in the block element, so I'll be just from the build I'll be search for fields. So these are the fields we are getting from the data adapter, so I'll be just add drag and drop this contact, right? So we can see the contact name is showing, right? And so now we just want to utilize the block actions, right? So in the block element I can just click on this add action, and in the add action we just need to provide like the action label as contact details, and action type should be flyout, and in here we just want to select the flyout type as child card. We can choose custom LWC OmniScript as well. I'll be covering them as well in the later sessions. So in the flyout type I'll be choosing this child card, and in the child card let me just create another child card for this demo. So I'll be just click on save as of now. And before that, since we want to utilize flyout as a child flex card, so let me just create the child flex card as well. So I'll be just copy this flex card name, and I'll be just click on new, and so in the parent I'll be just make it child. And the most important thing is to remember that we just make sure this child flex card is a child card, so this toggle needs to be on. So this can't be updated after the flex card creation. So in order to update the child card, this child card, we just need to delete the flex card. So please keep in mind while creating the child flex card to make this toggle on. So I'll be just click on next. Since we'll be getting the data from the parent flex, so I'll be just choosing none as a data source for the child flex card. And in here I'll be just using like let me just find the text or text block, specifically text text. So under the text we just want to display more contact details, so I'll be just add the header as contact details, and we can just make it little bit bigger in size. Let me make it paragraphs. Okay, let me just make it this one, and I'll be just adding more details to this context, like and these are the fields should be matched with this title, name, account ID. So let me just provide the name, this one, title, then we want this name. Okay, sorry, name, title, and then finally we want account ID as well. So this needs to be matched with this one. So our child card configurations is done, and this data will be getting populated from parent flex card. I'll be just make sure the child card is activated. So I'll be just activating the child flex card. So our child card got activated. I will just go back to the parent flex card, and I will be just refreshing the page, and I'll be just copy the child flex card name, and in the block actions I'll be updating the block actions again. So in the block actions we just need to update the child flex card. So action type is already selected as flyout type is its child flex card. In the flyout I just need to search for this one, this child flex card name. So data node, I just want to pass the current record. In that is why I am just selecting this one record. So this is crucial to pass the data. If we want to pass the all the data, in that case we just need to choose these records. If we want to pass like first item, then we just want to select this records array 0. So that's how it's work. So let me just pass this record as a current record we want to pass to the child flex card. And since I have selected the block action, that is why the pop-up so there will be like two options, open flyout. So there is another option available like pop-up. Since this is not a button, so this is a block action, that is why only one option is showing like model. So we are good to go with model, and I will be just click on save. So after saving the record, let me just preview. And we can see that list of contact records, and if I just click any of them, and we can see that these are the details are showing from the parent to child. So child card is showing and all the details are getting populated, and if I just click on any other item or contact records, that is showing different results. So this is how it works. So that's all for today's demo. Hello friends, welcome back to my YouTube channel Salesforce AI Champions. Today I'll be going to talk about how to use the OmniScript as an action in FlexCard. So before get started, please do like, share, subscribe my YouTube channel. So in the last video I have talked about like how we can just use FlexCard as an action type, and we can just pass data from parent to child FlexCard and vice versa, like child to parent. So those kind of scenarios and use cases I have talked about, and those videos can be found in my Omnistudio playlist, and please check them out. So in this session I will be talked about like so this is I'm in FlexCard Designer, and in here we can see a contact name, and from here like we can just update or we can just launch an OmniScript from this FlexCard. And you can see this so this is like an action. So in here I have configured like the OmniScript as an action type, and we can see this action type as OmniScript, and in here I have called OmniScript passing the data like contact ID, and finally we can update a specific contact record. So let me show you the preview, and if I just click on preview, we can see that list of contact records are showing, and in here in each of the contacts we are seeing this update contact action button. So it's basically launches the OmniScript, and if I click any of them, like I am clicking on John Amos update contact, and if I just click on it, it will be redirected to the OmniScript page, and we can just place this flex card any of our console. And finally in here we can see contact details. So this John Amos, the contact name, then contact title, and then description of the contact, and in here we can update the description of the contact record. Like if I just update uh, so updated updated to, let me just put it updated to, and if I just click on next, it will be navigated to the contact record, and we can see the description got updated, right? So this will be my use case for today's demo, and I'll be building this whole scenario, this whole configuration from scratch for this tutorial. So please stay tuned up to the end to see all the configurations, like how to configure the OmniScript as an action type. I'll be building this OmniScript from scratch and all the steps from the scratch. So please stay tuned, and let me just close all the tabs, and let me just build the OmniScript first. Then I'll be just creating the DataMapper extracts, then DataMapper load, like uh, by stepwise. So let me just create a new OmniScript. I'll be just go to the OmniScripts, and I'll be just click on new to create a new OmniScript, and I'll provide the OmniScript name as edit contacts OmniScript demo, and let me just provide like while creating an OmniScript, as we know, like there are three uh, values are needed, like language, then type, subtype. Let me just put the type as edit contact OmniScript, and let me just click on save. So I am in OmniScript designer, and in the step element I'll be just drag and drop an action element like DataRaptor Extract. I'll be just drag and drop this action element here or outside the step element. So in here, what will I will do, like I will just want to retrieve the contact records based on the context ID passed. So context ID is nothing but the one parameter we can pass into the OmniScript data JSON, based on which we can just fetch informations. So let me just provide the data raptor name like get contacts, and I'll be putting the label as same, and let me just create a new data raptor extract. So basically this data raptor extract will retrieve a specific contact record, right? So that is why I am just using this extract, and extract is doing nothing but retrieving Salesforce records. So on clicking on create new data raptor, I'll just redirect it to the providing the name of the data raptor. Like I want to just provide the name like get contact info dear extract, and I'll be just click on OK. And we just need to configure our data mapper extract, and I'll be just click on add new extract steps to add the object contact, and I'll provide the any of the label like contacts as a extract output path, and I'll be just providing the ID that needs to be equals to contact ID, or let me just provide con ID. So this con ID needs to be passed from the OmniScript as an context ID into this data mapper extract. And let me just configure few output mappings. And in here, I'll be just providing, I want to retrieve what are those contact information like contact name I want to retrieve, and I'll just provide the output JSON path as name. Then we want to retrieve like title, then contact ID, then we want to retrieve, and we just want to make sure that we can update the contact description, right? So I'll be just retrieving the descriptions as well, and let me just provide the output as description, and we are good with this mappings. So I'm not adding other information such as like phone number or email due to some PII information. So that will violate YouTube guideline guardrails. That is why I am not adding those informations here. I'll be just using those that is not related with personally identifiable information. That is why I am just I'll just update the description of the contact record, and in the preview, in the edit params, I'll be just add the key as con ID, and in here we can just pass any of the contact information. Let me just search for contacts, and I'll use this same like this John Amos contact records, and let me just provide the value as this one, and let me just click on execute. And we can see that we can retrieve the contact informations based on this con ID. So on the OmniScript, I'll be just using the OmniScript, and to the informations that we are getting from this DataRaptor extract, we'll just want to display those ones. So let me just drag and drop few fields like text, and in here we want to display the name of the contact. Then so in here in the before after the configuring the data mapper extract, we just need to pass the uh, input parameters data source. So our data source will be this context ID, and in here we should treat as context ID filter value. So filter value is needs to be same as this key. So this key con ID needs to be in here in the filter value. So context ID is nothing but on clicking on preview, you can see this context ID. So or after providing the context ID, so this will be passed as a parameter, and this will be treated as a passing record ID. And based on that, we can just update our OmniJSON data. And so this is how we can just configure this data mapper extract, and now we want to display those contact information in this step element. So I'll be just after adding this name, we want to display the, so I'll just make sure those name cannot be edited. So I'll be make sure it is read only mode, and we want to display like title, and in here I'll just put the title read only as well, and we want to display the contact ID, and this also needs to be read only. And finally we can just drag and drop the text area field input so that we can just display the description of the contact. So let me just update the element name as description, and this should be we can update, right? So let me check this up to this functionality, and I'll just click on preview, and we just can pass this contact ID. So I'll just pass this contact ID as a context ID, and let me just refresh this one, and we are not seeing the data. Let me just uh, hard refresh this page. Or we can just, as of now, we can activate this issue. So this happens in OmniStudio like due to some cache issues. So to figure out that thing, we can just activate this OmniScript. Once activated, we can just preview again, and we just need to pass this contact ID. So it's still not visible. Okay, let me check from the action debugger, and from the action debugger we can see, okay, con ID is not getting passed. That is why it's showing as null in the request data. That's why we are not getting the response. Okay, let me check. Let me deactivate this version first. Okay, this could be the issue. Without this merge syntax, we just need to pass this one input parameter data source, and let me recheck this one. And now we can see that we are getting data, and in the debug we can see that in the request data this cont ID is getting passed, and based on that we are getting this response for with the contact details. And so in here, so in the input parameter data source, the percentage should not be there. So merge syntax will not be applicable for here for the input parameter data source, since we are just getting the data from the OmniJSON data, since this we are getting directly from the OmniJSON data, this context ID. So now after configuring this one, what we just need to do, we just need to update the after updating the context from the user perspective, we just want to update the record directly in the Salesforce. So that is why we just need to configure our do load DataRaptor. So that part we'll just do. Before that, let me just update the element name as update contacts. So now I can just drag and drop this one. So this is our step element. So after this step element, we want to place that DataRaptor post action. So DataRaptor post action is doing nothing but we can just using this one, we can just save our record back to Salesforce. So let me just provide the name as save contacts and the field label as this one. And we just want to create a new DataRaptor. So I'll be just click on new, and on clicking on it we just need to provide the DataRaptor name as save contact dear. So I'll be just click on OK, and we'll be redirected to this OmniStudio DataRaptor designer page, and we can see that the interface type is load and output object type is SObject, since we are just want to update contact records. So in here I'll be just add object, and in here I'll be just choose the contact, and in the fields I'll be just choosing. And we can see that since we are just creating this, we created this DataRaptor directly from the OmniScript designer page. So that is why we can see that as a input JSON, we are getting this JSON directly from the OmniScript. So if we are just creating this DataMapper extract separately, in that case we just need to copy our data JSON from the OmniScript, from where, from here. So we can just copy this OmniScript data JSON from with by clicking on this clipboard, and we can just copy paste our JSON into into the input JSON path, so that it can be very useful for mapping. So after configuring the object as contact, since we just want to update the contact record, we just need to update the few mappings. What we just need to update, we just need to update this description of the contacts. So I'll just, and in here in the domain object field, we just need to select the standard description field of the contact record. And since the contact is already present, that is why we just don't want to create a new contact. We just want to update the existing contact. So I'll be just using the the contact ID as a primary key, right? So I'll be just providing this one, and in here we will be just selecting this upsert key. So it will be looking for existing ID and if the ID is present, it will update the existing contact record. And in here I'll be selecting these required for upset, this should be required for upset. So based on this ID found in the database, the contact will be updated, right? So I'll be just click on this, and after configuring this one, we will be just good to go, and we can just test it out as well, but I will be just testing directly from the OmniScript designer. And from the design, after configuring this DataMapper post, we can we just want to navigate to the updated contact record, right? That is why I'll be just using this navigate action, and I'll be just drag and drop this one, and I'll be just providing the name as navigate to contact, label as this one, and we want to go to the page reference type as record, that is good, and the object API name should be contact. We want to navigate to the contact record, and the record ID should be context ID, and we record action type will be view. So now we are just good to go, and I'll be just click on preview, and let me just update the contact record so that John Amos contact description has been updated. So I'll be just click on next, and we can see that this DR contact ID is getting generated, and on clicking on this action debugger, we can see that the ID, with the ID we are getting the response. So, and the navigate action will be work on clicking on this means only with the activated version, so we can test it out that as well. To check the contact has been updated, we can directly go to the contact record, and in the details section we can see that this description got updated, like John Amos contact description has been updated. So this is the recent text that I written, and after activating the OmniScript, we can refer the OmniScript as an action in the FlexCard. So 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 now I will just go to the FlexCard and OmniStudio FlexCard, and I'll be just click on new, and I'll be just providing the uh, FlexCard name as OmniScript action FlexCard demo, and we are good to go on clicking on. So select resource type. So I'll be just using an existing DataRaptor that is basically just fetch like different contact records based on an account ID, and if I just search for the contact records, contact retrieve based on the account ID. So after selecting the um, DataRaptor, we can just click on next, and before that we just want to update the key value as well. So if I just open quickly this DataRaptor extract, so let me just go to the DataRaptor, contact retrieves. So this one, and we can see that this is a interface type of extract, and we are just passing this account ID, and based on this account ID we can just fetch different contact records. Like for this account ID we are getting this contact records. So this is how we can just use this OmniScript DataRaptor extract to display the like list of contact records. So this is the key that needs to be passed as a key, and we can just reuse the value like this one, account ID, and we can just click on next. And if I just test the response on clicking on fetch, we can just see list of contact records and their JSON as well. And I'll be just click on save. And now we can just use this block element, and I'll be just drag and drop this block element, and in the build section from the fields, and from, let me just save and fetch again, and from the build, let me just refresh the page once the fields are not showing currently. And now we can see that the block element is placed, and in the build we are now getting the fields as well. And we just want to display the list of contact records, and on placing the field that we are getting from that existing this DataRaptor extract, so we are just placing this contact. And now I'll be just drag and drop the action element here, right? So this action element will be responsible for updating the contact record. So now now let me just update the configuration for this action element, and the label should be update contact, hide icon, display as button. And I'll just choose this one, brand, or let me just choose this one, success. And in here we want to configure as an action, OmniScript as an action. So before that, let me just copy the OmniScript name. So type is edit contact. So in the action properties, we will be just selecting the action type as OmniScript, and in here we just need to provide the OmniScript name, like edit contact OmniScript, and the layout type should be lightning. That is good. And in the context ID, so this context ID means this contact ID that we are getting from the DataRaptor. So this is the DataRaptor. Based on account ID, we are getting these contact informations associated with that account, and we are getting the contact ID as well. So we'll be just passing this contact ID to the OmniScript based on the user selection, right? So in the context ID, I am passing the contact ID, and we should be good to go. And let me just preview this one. And we can see that we can see the list of contact records as we are expecting, and we can see these buttons that should launch the OmniScript. And if I just click on any of them, and on clicking on this contact record, we can just see that we are getting navigated to the respective OmniScript page, and we can see, and we can just update the contact information, like updated uh, newly. And if I just click on next, we should be navigated to the contact record, and on the clicking on details, we can see that contact description is also getting updated. So this is how we can just create a simple OmniScript, and we can use that OmniScript as an action in the FlexCard. So that's all for today's demo. So this will be part of this series, like OmniScript mini projects. So I'll be covering more use cases and tutorials for OmniScript, OmniStudio, Salesforce, and Data Cloud topics. So please stay tuned, and if you like this video, please do like, share, subscribe my YouTube channel. Thanks for watching.